Ladies and gentlemen, today we are debating the resolution this House should allow adults to carry concealed weapons. The opposition stands firmly against this proposal. Why? Because concealed carry is not a pathway to safety, it is a pathway to danger. Allowing ordinary citizens to carry hidden firearms introduces risks that far outweigh any supposed benefits. It is unsafe, unnecessary, and a gamble with public security that we should refuse to take. Think about what concealed carry really means. It means more guns in more places, in more hands, often in situations where fear and confusion dominate. That is not a recipe for safety, it is a recipe for tragedy. Let me now explain why the opposition has clearly won this debate. First reason, concealed carry does not equal safety. The government wants you to believe that concealed weapons make us safer, but the evidence shows the opposite. We have demonstrated that concealed carry permit holders are responsible for numerous deaths that had nothing to do with self-defense. We have shown that states with looser concealed carry laws experience higher rates of firearm assaults. If concealed carry truly created safety, the statistics would reflect that, but they don't. The government's claim collapses under the weight of reality. Second reason, permits do not turn civilians into professionals. The government imagines that a permit transforms an ordinary citizen into a trained protector, but a piece of paper does not make someone a first responder. Police officers and military personnel undergo years of training, constant drills, and strict accountability. Civilians with a weekend safety course simply do not have the skills to respond effectively in a crisis. Introducing armed civilians into chaotic situations often makes them worse. Third reason, screening and safety courses are not enough. The government insists that background checks and basic training will ensure responsibility. But if that were true, we would see lower crime rates in concealed carry states. Instead, we see the opposite. Screening cannot measure temperament, judgment, or emotional stability. Imagine the most anxious, neurotic person you know. Now imagine that person legally carrying a firearm everywhere they go. That is not safety, that is a ticking time bomb. Fourth reason, the government has no plan for accountability. Once a permit is issued, there is no meaningful oversight. The government's proposal essentially hands out concealed weapons to anyone who passes minimal requirements, then hopes for the best. Hope is not a policy or protection, and hope will not prevent tragedies when fear-driven individuals start firing in public spaces. Now let's compare the two worlds presented in this debate. In the government's world, concealed carry is sold as a fantasy, a comforting illusion that more guns will somehow mean less crime. But illusions do not save lives. Their world leads to more assaults, accidents, and more opportunities for weapons to fall into the wrong hands. In the opposition's world, we reduce the number of guns in circulation. Fewer guns mean fewer accidents, fewer crimes of passion, and fewer opportunities for criminals to arm themselves. Our world is safer, calmer, and less stressful. When we weigh magnitude, impact, and time frame, the choice is clear. The government's plan increases risks immediately and permanently. Every concealed weapon introduced into society is a long-term danger. By contrast, the opposition's plan reduces risks over time, creating a safer environment for everyone. So, members of the House, ask yourselves, do we want to live in a society where fear and firearms walk hand in hand? Or do we want a society where safety is built on trust, not on hidden weapons? The government's case is built on fantasy and false promises. The opposition's case is built on evidence, logic, and a vision of a safer world. For these reasons, I urge you to vote against the resolution. This House should allow adults to carry concealed weapons.